And so that's where Jim Miller and the Chicago Bears will begin. Miller making his third consecutive start as Bears quarterback. Up front, Brockemeyer, Tucker, Kreutz, Valerio, and Big Cat Williams. Robinson and Booker, the wide receiver. Allen and Shelton in the backfield. And Fred Baxter, who's missed the last 2 weeks with hip and neck problems, back in the starting lineup at tight end. It'll be a first down from the 22. Miller to the air right away. Marcus Robinson, gain of 5 yards on the play. That Bengals defense, a couple of changes up front. Von Booker, normally the starter at left end, injured an ankle, so Bernard Whittington starts there. Justin Smith, the rookie, his first NFL start on the other side. If you like linebackers, this is your game. Spikes, Simmons, and Foley for the Bengals. And in the secondary, Hawkins and Roman at the corners. Roman in for the injured Rodney Heath. On second down, James Allen, his first carry, spins free at the line of scrimmage. Pickup of about 3 yards, loses the football in the process, but they say he was down. Bears keep the ball, 3rd and 3. The pitch to Allen. Fights his way near the first down marker. Forced out of bounds by Corey Hall. Let's see where they spot it.
Kurt, these Chicago Bears wide receivers aren't real happy about last week. They didn't get a lot of touches, but they're a physical group that can block. And they just had wide receiver come in, and Marty Booker knocked Justin Smith out on the last play, allowing James Allen to get to the corner. I think Marty Booker knocked himself out.
Goes over to the sideline, and David Terrell comes in. They give Allen the first down at the 32. Play action. Miller with time throws it incomplete, intended for Terrell. And a late penalty flag comes in. Well, that was well after the play was over.
Pass interference. 27 defense. That's the first down.
They call it on Artrell Hawkins.
Kurt, they're going to go after the young quarterbacks of Cincinnati today. This time they're picking on Artrell Hawkins here. Runs right into David Terrell. Terrell in there because Marty Booker got hurt on the play before. Hurt that shoulder, so Terrell, the first-round pick, got involved in the game. Hawkins got a body on him before the ball got there.
First down in Cincinnati territory. Pass complete to Marcus Robinson. 4 yards on the play. Mark Roman with the tackle.
One of the things that the Bears want to do today is they want to work the perimeter of the Cincinnati defense. We've seen it early already today. First play of the game went outside the numbers. And that's what I mean by the perimeter. They want to make these cornerbacks of this area here, from the numbers over to the sidelines. That's the area that the Bears want to work early in this game. First of all, it's safe passes. It gets the receivers involved in the game. And then it tests these cornerbacks to come up and tackle well and to cover.
The pitch to James Allen. A little stiff arm by Allen. Picks up only a yard on the play. Forced out of bounds by Roman. Bears with a 3rd and 3. Miller stumbles a bit, regains his footing and goes up top, overthrows Marcus Robinson, incomplete. His offense's turn, starting at the 20-yard line. Kitna to pass right away, going up top, overthrown. Pass intended for Darnay Scott. And Kitna having a nice start to his career here in Cincinnati, coming over as a free agent in the offseason from Seattle. The line up front, Webb, the former Dolphin, O'Dwyer, Bram, Goff, and Anderson. Wide receivers, Darnay Scott and Peter Warwick. Dylan and O'Neal, Lorenzo Neal, pardon me, in the backfield. Tony McGee is the tight end. They go with 4 receivers on second down. Ball tipped to the line of scrimmage, still completed. Peter Warwick for a gain of 7. A big defensive front for the Bears. Daniels, Traylor, Washington, and Robinson. Another good linebacking core, and young as well. Holman, Urlacher, and Colvin. And in the secondary, McQuarters and Harris at the corners. Brown and Parrish, the two safeties.
Chicago Bear defense, Warwick, Holdman there. Doesn't get the attention Brian Urlacher does, but he leads this defense in tackles, and he's a heck of a playmaker for him.
They need the 30-yard line for the first down. Corey Dillon caught in the backfield and stopped. Gonna lose 4 yards on the play. Roosevelt Colvin, the first guy there. Cleveland. Jim Miller working out of the shotgun on an empty backfield. Quick pass. That's David Terrell, the first-round pick. Slips the tackle. Steps out of bounds near the first down marker. We step it out to Los Angeles and JB for an NFL game break.
Hey, Kurt, the Falcons have outscored opponents 25-3 in the first quarter. Here's 7 right here. Play action. Chandler up top to the rookie tight end, Algie Crumpler, 57-yard score. And the Falcons have it back. They're inside the 5, threatening to score again. Back to Kurt and Ryan.
Yeah, JB, I think that Algie is growing on the Atlanta Falcons. That's his second touchdown 2 weeks in a row.
11 yards on the last play. First down from midfield. Miller to Marcus Robinson. Pickup of 13 and another first down. And the Bears getting those receivers involved. There's a penalty flag down on the play.
Flag, but it's a hard thing to control.
Well, it's hot and the guys are sweaty down there.
And the jerseys are slippery, too.
Backs him up 10 yards. Throwing the 14 yards gained on the play. It's a 24-yard penalty.
A lot of hidden yardage in that play.
From the 40. Miller up top again. Robinson again. Stopped at the 45-yard line. Giving him 15 yards on the play.
Yeah, they're working on Mark Roman over there, who's making his first start this year. You mentioned the injury to Rodney Heath. Ripped his hamstring last week in a devastating injury. But these Bear receivers are all big, first of all. They're all over 215 pounds. You know, Marcus Robinson is 6'4". He's working on smaller corners, and he doesn't have a lot of experience out there. So he's going to give him a cushion like he just did. The Bears are taking advantage of it.
Anthony Thomas now in at tailback. Gets the carry on second down. Makes a couple of moves and has running room. Thomas finally brought down by Artrell Hawkins, but only after he picked up 20 yards.
That's the train. We talked to the train yesterday, short for A-Train. Nobody knows that his name is Anthony. And the train here has good vision. He said the difference between the pros and colleges, and he said when he'd run behind that big blue line at Michigan, he had all kinds of holes to run through. He had his pick, but he said in the NFL, you generally have one hole, and it doesn't stay open very long.
Well, he took advantage of the hole he saw in that one. First down from the 25. Play action.
Oh, he's got booked. He missed him.
And throws it incomplete. No Bear receiver anywhere near there.
Oh, Jim Miller had himself what he wanted. Marty Booker in motion, running through the slot, right down the seam. Nobody picked him up. You just have to throw that football. Let Marty run underneath and grab it. Not too difficult finding these Bear receivers. Like I said, they're all big. They're good targets. The other thing is they're good blockers. You know, bigger gets a big man's game. So these guys get on these smaller defensive backs. They can push them out of the way in the run game.
They've got 4 receivers in on third down, but Anthony Thomas gets the carry. Escapes a couple of tackles. He's going to be short of the first down. He needed to get to the 15. Oliver Gibson stopped him about 2 yards shy of it.
When we talked to Train yesterday, he said that generally James Allen plays the first 3 series, but his talent, it's too obvious, I think, to everybody that has watched him the last couple of weeks. He has a lot of Azuzu in him, Kurt, that ability to make you kind of miss, shake you a little bit, and then he has that burst, the ability to fire at the same time.
Bears bring in 2 tight ends on 3rd and 2. That's Baxter, one of them in motion, and the other John Davis follows. Miller under pressure, gets rid of it and completes it. Marty Booker loses the football, and the Bengals recover. Mark Roman forced the fumble, and Glenn Steele got the recovery. Ball still on the 1. Dillon again. Corey Dillon. Caught right at the goal line by Keith Traylor. Falls forward for a yard pickup.
But I said at the outset that this Bear defense has taken a step up because they now are scoring points. And when you got an offense trapped deep in their own territory on 3rd down like this, your mindset is you're thinking score. You're thinking big play right now. And if you're the Bengals now, you got to know that. And you got to have a smart trigger now with John Kitna back here if he's going to throw it. Make sure he gets rid of the football. Any offensive holding call in the end zone is going to be a safety.
Well, Kitna's working out of the shotgun on 3rd down. Pass incomplete in the direction of Corey Dillon. Ryan Urlacher had him front stride for
first quarter, keeping the crowd out of it. It's got to be frustrating for them. They should go to the end zone right now after that short punt.
Well, they've got the ball at the 32 to start. James Allen fights for 3 yards on the play. Oliver Gibson, Glenn Steele in there with the tackle.
So, yeah, Kurt, I think, you know, if the Bears want to compete for this Central Division title this year, and they can do it because right now Green Bay's in Minnesota, and that's always a war up there. But at 3-1 right now, you got to think division. But if you're going to think division, you got to be aggressive. We've seen how their defense has been aggressive. They're scoring points, shutting teams down. The offense has to take the step. They got to go to the end zone. And when you get short punts, turn it around and attack the defense.
Miller going to the air. Ball batted incomplete. Brian Simmons got a hand up there.
But I tell you who's the happiest people in the stadium right now are the cornerbacks for Cincinnati. That was going to be a 3-yard stop to Marty Booker, which is a nice little pattern, but you kind of got Cincinnati backing up a little bit. You got field position working. You know, we saw Marty Booker open down to see him in the series before. This is when you really want to go to the end zone, and I don't think you want to settle for 3 points after this.
Especially going against the banged up Cincinnati secondary.
Robert Bean hasn't started a game this season. You got a first start down here in Mark Roman.
They need the 22 for the first down. Miller gets rid of it, incomplete, and it hit Robert Bean right in the numbers.
Well, but they just can't get out of the box fast, and part of it is field position starting on your 3-yard line last series.
They start from the 27 here, overthrown, incomplete in the direction of Lorenzo Neal. He's feeling pressure from Philip Daniels, was John Kitna.
But John Kitna is like all young quarterbacks in this league, just like Jim Miller on the other side. He wants some easy completions to start a game to try to get it into rhythm. Get a feel for what the defense is trying to do to you.
He's only 1 of 4 to start this one. Peter Warwick in motion. Corey Dillon. Pickup of 3, Keith Traylor with the stop.
Now, Corey Dillon has been an outstanding back each of his first 4 years in this league, Kurt. But even last week, he had 31 carries. 10 of those carries went for 0 or negative yards. So there's a lot of games where they're struggling up front. But then when he gets his split, he's going to hit you at 0-1, and then all of a sudden he can go for 14. But that's not a way to have a consistent offense. 5 wide receivers here.
They've got to get it to the 38 for the first down. Kitna over the middle of the field. Darnay Scott. What a catch, and hold on to it after Warren Coleman hits it.
He got up doing a little bit of the shake.
I don't think that was voluntary, though,
no.
The way he got popped.
No, I think it was like electricity going through him. You see the 5 wide receivers of Cincinnati this time. Darnay Scott working at the bottom of your picture, just working a bash route, working in the middle.
14 yards on the play. Corey Dillon. And Dillon going to lose a yard on the play. Mike Brown with the stop. We send it out to Los Angeles and JD for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, and we're looking at the Carolina Panthers trying to beat the Skins for the first time in 6 tries. Wesley Wall's 4th straight game with a touchdown catch. They're on top of Washington 7-0 in the first. Back to Kurt and Brian.
All right, JB. Boy, that's a game that Washington needs to try and take advantage of having a team like Carolina at home this week.
Cincinnati again spreading the football out.
Kitna from the empty backfield. Quick pass, dropped, incomplete. was intended for Peter Warwick, but Warwick couldn't hold on.
Yeah, and those safeties are coming up. When they see that receiver sitting over the middle, they're coming with the running start to put a hit on those receivers. And believe me, those receivers know that Parrish and Brown are lurking. Here's Tony Parrish. He's just waiting for that crossing route. Now watch him jump on it. Now Warwick has to catch that football, but he knows he's going to get a spear in the back between that 8 and 0. Just enough to make that receiver flinch a little bit. They're just a little bit unsure with those guys.
3rd and long. They've got to get to the Bears 47. Kitna going up top. Marco Battaglia with the catch. 16 yards on the play and a Bengal first down.
And he got blown up by Michael Brown again, but good hands by Battaglia. Tight ends have only caught 10 passes total in the first 2 games. They'd like to get those guys involved a little bit more in the offense.
Cincinnati's first of the game. Down to the 39 of Chicago.
Mike Brown down here in a blitz look.
Brandon Bennett with the carry. Pickup of about 2 yards. Brian Urlacher with the tackle.
That Brandon Bennett is a good change of pace back for the Bengals. You know, he had 7 carries, most of them in the 4th quarter last week. And, you know, you get used to Corey Dillon at 230 pounds, and you get used to his pace and his speed and his physicalness. And then you bring in a Bennett, who also has power, but at the same time, he's a different guy. Different moves. And so it makes the defense adjust their angles to come in to hit him.
Doesn't hurt when you can bring in a guy who's averaging 5 yards a carry as a backup. He gets it again, this time stopped in the backfield. Tony Parrish snipped it out.
And these safeties are so active, Kurt. We saw Mike Brown blitzing the last play. This is against the run now. I mean, it's a blitz that's going to handle both the pass and the run. They're trying to crowd that line of scrimmage, not let these guys get started in the run game. So here's Parrish. You know, he starts from depth. Now watch him cheat up here. See, as the play gets closer to the snap, and then he's going to come. It's one thing to blitz, it's another thing to time that blitz, Kurt.
2-yard loss, so it's 3rd and 10. They need the 29 for the first. Wide open out of the backfield. Brandon Bennett gets the first down. Needed 10, got 10.
And they got a good throw from Kitna that time, who stayed in the pocket, very comfortable with each other. And you got to have a good coach-quarterback relationship.
First down from the 29. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. And what a catch.
Wow.
Darnay Scott.
Kurt, what an adjustment by Darnay Scott. They're taking advantage of the Bears and spreading them out and throwing the ball here in this drive.
They've got a 1st and goal from the 6. Kitna rolls to his right. And he slips and falls, goes down for the sack. Brian Urlacher gets the credit. They're going to lose 10 yards on the play.
Boy, and right when Kitna set his feet, when he slipped, he was looking for Darnay Scott in the back of the end zone. Watch him. Darnay's running to the corner. He sees Kitna's in trouble. Now he's going to cut back, and this is what he was going to. And he had him open all alone, and that's when Kitna slipped under the pressure of Urlacher.
It's the first time all season the Bengals have been sacked in the red zone. Backs them up to the 16. High snap. Ball intercepted. R.W. McQuarters. Kitna forces him out of bounds right at midfield. And McQuarters, who had the 69-yard fumble return last week for a touchdown, gets the pick and returns this one 43 yards.
You know, it started with a bad snap, and I don't think John ever got comfortable in the pocket after that. Never got his feet set, and it floated the ball out to Peter Warwick. Watch the snap from Rich Brom. You see he takes his eyes off the receiver now and didn't get much on this football. And R.W. McQuarters for 2 weeks in a row now. And again, the Bears looking to score on a turnover. An opportunistic defense. Watch R.W. McQuarters the interception. Watch Tony Parrish. He knocks a man down. They're looking to score a touchdown on that.
He gets it all the way back to the Bear 49. Miller. Quick pass out to Marcus Robinson into Bengal territory. A gain of 4. Robert Bean with the stop.
They're working the outside fringes. Nothing deep, though, yet, Kirk. You know, the Bengals have been aggressive in offense. They just in that last series, they made really, for John, a boneheaded play. Floating that ball outside against an aggressive defense. And I think it started with the high snap. I think it took his eyes off the receiver, and he never really got him back on him.
Anthony Thomas in at running back. Thomas with the carry through a hole.
Watch out.
Into the open field, Anthony Thomas. Being chased by Artrell Hawkins, fights his way down to the 1-yard line. 45 yards on the run.
Train keep on rolling. This is all Anthony Thomas, and this is why he will be the starter by the end of the afternoon for the Bears, because he has home run ability. He's not looking. He's got the stiff arm out, Kurt. He knows somebody's coming. He's feeling him. It's almost like he's trying to read some braille there. I don't know who's coming. I'm just going to put the hand out there as I go for my second touchdown of my career.
The longest run of his rookie season. First and goal from the 1. Play action. In the end zone. Touchdown Bears. Fred
Easy,
Baxter.
guys. Easy, guys.
And that's Baxter's first touchdown reception as a Chicago Bear. Longtime member of the New York Jets.
Right off a good play action fake into the line. Baxter's here working on Brian Simmons. He does a little bit of acting. Looks like he's blocking Brian Simmons at the line, then sneaks out into the middle of the field. Down as a Bear.
Bengals take over at the 27-yard line. Corey Dillon fights for a yard. Mike Brown in on the tackle. And the Bengals offense needing to get something going and complete it. That last drive, they put together a nice drive, got it all the way down to the 6, but couldn't finish it off.
Well, those are tough yards inside against that Bear front with Ted Washington and Keith Traylor. Teams are trying to take it in there, but they're stacking it up pretty good and forcing everything to the outside. We're seeing great safety and cornerback pressure to tackle.
Under pressure on second down. He gets rid of it. Incomplete. Pass intended for Corey Dillon. Warwick Holdman was coming with the pressure.
The Bears are not a big blitz team. They like to bring 1. 5 is as many as they bring. Some teams, they call a blitz bringing 7. But the Bears will usually bring 1. This time it's Warwick Holdman. He's going to come. And it's good. He's coming to the backside of John Kitna, where they're trying to set up a screen to Dillon. Never was able to get that set up properly.
Third and long. They've got to get it to the 37 for the first down. Wide open right in the middle of the field. Peter Warwick gets the first down. Out to Los Angeles and JB for another game win.
Hey, Kurt and Brian, spotted a 10-0 lead. Saints coming back after a field goal. Take a look here. Brooks, play action, hooking up with Cam Cleland. Cleland takes it in for the score, 19 yards, and it's all knotted at 10. Back to Kurt and Brian.
All right, JB, I think Cam Cleland, the guy that the Saints really missed last season.
Had the torn Achilles last year.
He's showing it the last couple of weeks.
The Saints scored on the last play of the game against Carolina a week ago. They're never down.
13 yards on the last play. First down from the 41. Corey Dillon going nowhere. Pick-up of a yard or so. Robert Newkirk on the tackle.
Kurt, this is a good linebacking core of the Bears. First of all, they're all draft picks. Warwick Holdman, Rosie Colvin, and Brian Urlacher. They've all been brought in by the Bears, drafted by the Bears, and they all want to stay Bears. But Urlacher gets a lot of attention, but he's surrounded. That man, Colvin, was a defensive end at Purdue. He's made the transition to linebacker, which is really difficult. You go from having your hand on the ground to playing in space. That's not easy. And then Warwick Holdman, the weak side linebacker, leads this team in tackles and is a very good playmaker.
Curtis Keaton now in at fullback, and they run the reverse to it.
Statue of Liberty.
The old end around, but the Bears not fooled. He picks up 2 yards on the play. Walt Harris sniffed it out right away.
Well, this linebacking core that I'm talking about, Kurt, one of the reasons why they are good is because they have speed. They can run. So if you run a misdirection play like this Statue of Liberty here, where you're going to come around like you drew up in the backyard, the speed will come. Good job on the outside holding the point by Walt Harris and R.W. McQuarters, and then the linebackers will come to finish up.
They were not deceived at all on that play. Brings up another third and long situation for the Bears, or the Bengals, pardon me. beneath the Chicago 49 for the first. Incomplete, intended for Marco Battaglia. No flags on the play.
They're looking for one. The fans are looking for one. They like to run in that formation as much as they like to throw it. Take advantage of man-to-man coverage by Cincinnati's secondary.
And they pitch it to James Allen. Follows that bunch formation for 5 yards on the play. Well, tonight, it's kind of dealer's choice for which game you want to watch. As far as baseball is concerned, right here on Fox, you'll get one game on Fox, the other game on your Fox Sports Net cable channel. So it's basically 2 for the price of 1. Promises to be one of the more exciting nights of baseball action in years. It's the League Championship Series, only on the Fox networks.
And the Yankees are struggling in these playoffs at home.
Only 1-3.
1-3 at home.
That's James Allen. Glenn Steele stops him right about the line of scrimmage. And there's the pitching matchup for that American League Championship Series. Roger Clemens, bad hamstring and all, going up against Paul Abbott. And you know what? Those two guys have the top 2 winning percentages in baseball this season.
What do you think Roger's like before a pitching match?
What do you think Roger's like the day before a pitching match?
You think he's real relaxed and easy going in that clubhouse right now?
An intense Texan. Seattle trying to win that and get back in that series and even it up at 2 games apiece. Big third down, they need the 29. Miller up top. Overthrown, incomplete. Marcus Robinson, the intended receiver. He's only 8 yards so far. Beginning at the 34. There's Corey Dillon. And Dillon picks up a yard. Brian Urlacher with the stop.
Well, one of the reasons why Corey Dillon's averaging less than a yard a carry right now is the Bears are really flying their safeties up. You see him just flying up here at the line of scrimmage. He's unaccounted for. He's unblocked. So Corey Dillon, when he comes out here, he sees that man. It immediately takes him inside to where all of the linebackers and those big 2 defensive tackles are holding the point. And this guy here, Brian Robinson, is very good at the point against the run as well.
Dillon on the draw play, not fooled. Roosevelt Colvin. And that's going to be good for a 3-yard loss.
One of the things I like about this Bears defense is those 3 linebackers, Rosie Colvin, he goes to defensive end in their nickel package. So those linebackers never come off the field. You know, so much substitution and specializing in defense now where linebackers play one play and they come off. These guys, they stay on the field. And so they feel the rhythm of the game a lot better than if you're just substituting all the time.
Bears have to get it. Bengals have to get it out to the 44. Kidna has the time and completes it to Marco Battaglia, but he's going to be short. R.W. McQuarters and Walt Harris stop him after only 8 yards on the pickup.
They're on their feet. They're looking to make something happen here. Bears are 5-0 the last 5 games in the stadium.
Anthony Thomas. Thomas pushing the pile for a 4-yard pickup. Brian Simmons with the tackle.
Just on special teams in the last punt. Watch Ron Dugans here, working one-on-one on the outside, also with Robert Bean. But this man here, Dugans, you know, he's a wide receiver. He hasn't caught in a pass this year, but he leads this team in special team tackles. And there he beat 2 men down the field to make the tackle on R.W. McQuarters. So he's contributing. And you like to see that from a young receiver. Contributing in some other area of the football team while he's, you know, not really a big part of the passing game at the moment.
Second down. Miller. Pass complete. Marcus Robinson escapes a tackle. Fights his way out to the 41-yard line, a gain of 23.
You have to get Marcus Robinson involved in the game. He's a big-time receiver with big ability. He missed a lot of time this summer because of back surgery, but
and
he's healthy.
Slow getting up right now, though. You mentioned the back surgery he had. Looked like they're looking at his knee instead. Offensive. So Bears begin first down from the 42. Des White now in at wide receiver. Miller completes the pass. That's the tight end, John Davis. Down to the sideline, and Dan Jiggett for a report.
All right, guys, what happened was Marcus Robinson hyperextended his knee. They say it's a sprained left knee. He is out. They put it in a plastic cast, as you saw, took him off the field. So he's done for the day and maybe done for a few weeks. It was a very ugly injury.
All right, thanks a lot, Dan. And You know, a lot of times they say it's a sprain right at the beginning, not quite sure what it is. And you see Des White now in as his replacement along with David Terrell. That's Anthony Thomas. Thomas crossing midfield, fighting his way out near the first down marker at the 48-yard line.
But what those kind of injuries do is it gives opportunities for other players to step up. And David Terrell, who's been begging to be a bigger part of this offense, only 6 receptions for 45 yards coming into today, gives him more repetitions, more opportunities. Des White, kind of a maligned guy, you know, questionable hands, gives him an opportunity to catch more balls. But Anthony Thomas has got some special ability in the backfield, and you can see him developing a rhythm in this game and coming on the last couple of weeks.
He picked up the necessary yardage for the first and gets the carry again. Boy, not only does he go full speed the whole time, he doesn't mind carrying guys with him after he gets hit.
Kurt, he's very strong in the lower body. You saw him carrying the players, but what I'm impressed by is his vision. He seems like he's not a dancer in the backfield. He makes up his mind. Here it is. He gets through that hole. I mean, there's bodies in front of him, but he's getting through the hole. And he's getting through it as he's going forward. So his feet aren't stopping in the hole trying to find the big opening. He's creating it as he's moving.
Gained 8 yards on that run, 95 for the day. Second and short, the pitch to Thomas. Nice job following his blockers. Finally forced out of bounds right at the 32-yard line. Give him 8 more, and he's over 100.
Over 100 yards. You know, and he's wearing 35. He doesn't like the number, Kurt. He wore 9 in high school. He wore 32 at Michigan, and he wants 32. But 35 is Neil Anderson, you know, and one of the great runners in Chicago Bear history. In fact, I don't think the Bears have had a great runner since Neil Anderson. It seems like they've been trying to find that guy for a long time.
A lot of faces in and out of here, but I'll tell you what, Thomas looks like he may be the solution. Slips a tackle, picks up 2 yards, and he was hit in the backfield by Steve Foley before that one even got going, and he still fought his way for 2.
And with Thomas going over 100 here in the first half, this offensive line is starting to get into a rhythm. It's taken them a few weeks, but they're opening up good holes.
Anthony Thomas dancing to the 24-yard line. Jawan Armour with the stop.
What I see from this offensive line here, Kurt, is the line of scrimmage is clean. You're not seeing leakage or quick penetration by Cincinnati, and that's what the Bengals like to do. They like to shoot gaps. They're a blitzing team. They're a zone blitz team. Right now, they're keeping those seams clean, and it's allowing Thomas to get to the line of scrimmage.
Look at the difference in yards per rush between the two teams. Thomas alone in the backfield. They go up top, ball batted, incomplete.
That's a huge knockdown that time by the Bengals because...
67 yards away from the end zone and 1:19 on the clock. Kittner. Under pressure, he loses the football but falls on it. Brian Robinson was the guy to get in there and knock it out, which in this situation could be important. Out of the shotgun, Kittner. Pass broken up nicely. R.W. McQuarters.
Well, what a game McQuarters is having.
Man, what a half.
Yeah, what a half. Because I tell you, Peter Warwick is open coming over the middle of the field. Here's Warwick. He's going to be working right into this spot. McQuarters covering him. Oh, Warwick thought he'd had himself a reception. Thought it was going to fall right into that breadbasket. McQuarters laying out stopped it.
Bengals need the 43. Pass incomplete. Tony McGee couldn't haul it in.
Vikings have won 7 of 9 up there in Minneapolis. Bet those Bear fans will be watching later today.
Jim Miller. That's James Allen out of the backfield. And Allen picks up 3 yards on the play.
To go down the field, and the defense snuffed it all out. But we would like to finish the game with the ball in their hands.
Trying to finish the half with the flurry here. 27 seconds to go from the 45. James Allen out of the backfield again, and he's able to get out of bounds. Robert Bean forced him out.
One of the reasons why Jim Miller has only been sacked 1 time all year is he gets rid of the ball so quickly. Now, that's a good thing, Kurt, if you don't want to get hit and get hurt. But it's a bad thing if you want to try and push the ball down the field and make big plays because they take longer to happen. and you need more time with the football. And they're not allowing those deep patterns to develop right now.
Well, they only picked up 3 yards on that last one. Just a little dump pass to Allen out of the backfield. Brings up a 3rd and 4 situation.
Bengals' best pass rusher is working on Big Cat Williams. Up here at the top, Justin Smith. Got a good jump that time.
And he got around that end. Miller still got it off and completes it to Marty Booker. Down to the 31-yard line. Bears use that final timeout.
Nice play by Miller.
21 yards on the pass.
Good job by the Bears that time of doubling Justin Smith, who got a great... He doesn't have to go make spectacular plays.
Ball on the 31, 11 seconds to go. Miller. Quick pass. It's caught. David Terrell. And he gets out of bounds. That's going to be good enough to get the field goal unit out. Terrell making the grab right above the 26-yard line.
Can't tell on this if he had possession as he fell out. Look, see that left foot is on the white chalk. This play might get reviewed from upstairs, Kirk.
Well, this is going to be a big difference.
Center Olin Kreutz, who had a great first half for the Bears.
With Dillon in at tailback, 9 carries, 5 yards in the first half. And Kitna starts the second off with an incompletion. The Bengals, well, this is a spot they're used to being in. They've trailed in every home game this season, but they've come back to win each one.
Yeah, they've scored 69 points in the second half compared to 20 in the first half in 5 games this year.
So they have been a second half team. They'll need a second half comeback if they want to win this one today. Corey Dillon. Dillon scratching and clawing. Picks up 2 yards, maybe. Robert Newkirk with the stop.
You know, it's funny, Kurt. All the way up here at the press booth, I could hear the Bears screaming out, "Here comes the draw." And that's what Cincinnati run. Man, so, I mean, there's something within the formation right now that the Bears have seen from studying tape that are giving them keys. And it looked like that in the first half when, really, I mean, it was the worst rushing half of the year for the Bengals.
They've got to get the ball to the 35-yard line for the first. Kitna under pressure. Gets it out and completes it to Marco Battaglia. Battaglia forced out of bounds by Mike Brown, but picks up enough yards for the first down. A gain of 14.
Just looking at Bernie Kukar, the referee, to see if John Kitna was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. Just trying to make a play, escaping a 5-man rush by the Bears. Warwick Holdman at the bottom of the screen. Kitna gets away from, actually he gets away from Philip Daniels as well.
Ooh. Well, that was close.
That was very close.
They get the first down. Corey Dillon. It's probably the best run he's had all day. Brian Robinson with the stop, but a gain of 6. That is his high run for the day.
And that's really, you know, one thing you've seen from the Bengals here, that's what they do. That's what they like to get started, is just their base zone running game. So, you know, that offensive line of Rich Brom and Mike Goff and Matt O'Dwyer, Willie Anderson up front. I mean, they talked about it at halftime, like they have to play better here.
Kitna gets it off, incomplete, but once again being chased. Roosevelt Colvin pops him.
Now, that time they blitzed the safety, Tony Parrish, and the left tackle was there to pick him up. Here on the outside, you're going to see him pick up Tony Parrish on the outside. Richmond Webb picks him up, but then here comes the inside man free. So we're asking Richmond. Guard comes out to pick him up. Just a double read, and you bring both, only you can only get one.
Kitna hasn't done much without being harassed today. They need the 46. Out of the backfield, incomplete to Corey Dillon. And there's Roosevelt Colvin once again.
Well, that was Urlacher coming on the blitz. That, and I tell you, that offensive line is taking it to the Bengals. Oliver Gibson, haven't mentioned his name at nose tackle. Olin Kreutz in the middle, snapping the ball, handling him man-to-man.
Quick pass out of the screen to Marty Booker. Booker dancing his way for a gain of 8 yards. Steve Foley on the tackle.
Kurt, you saw that pass out there outside the numbers. You know, it's 13 yards from the number to the sidelines, and they're attacking that area. They did in the first half with success. They start the second half with it as well.
If it works, why not?
Yeah, that distance there is 13 yards, Kurt. 54 yards across the field. It's relatively a quarter of the field.
Last time worked for a gain of 8. James Allen alone in the backfield. Another quick pass, David Terrell. And Terrell outside the numbers again and stiff arms his way for a pickup of 11.
Hey, Kurt, we're emphasizing outside the numbers because this is an area that if you look at the Bengals on defense, they've had a lot of changes in the secondary. In fact, I think they've had changes every week. Mark Roman is out there now. And so we want these quarterbacks in this area of the field to be able to defend the field both against the pass and then once the receiver catches it, to see if they can bring him down, because these are bigger physical receivers. They're like big running backs out there with the football.
First down from the 46. Bad snap. Miller grabs a hold of it and just falls forward.
I saw Olin Kreutz just jump up out of the pile to center. And he's upset. He had a bad shotgun snap. He's mad at himself right now.
Well, Kreutz coming off a rough week last week. 3 penalties in the game against Arizona.
He's just, you know what? That ground caused that fumble. That's what he's mad at. There's all kinds of divots in the middle of the field, and he went to snap it, and it caught a divot, Kurt, and he couldn't get the ball up.
They lose a yard on the play. Bengals coming on the blitz. James Allen going to be stopped for a 1-yard gain. Glenn Steele with the tackle.
Well, they made a switch on that defensive line right at the start of the game. Vaughn Parker, who had been starting at defensive end, Vaughn Booker, been starting at defensive end, out today. So Bernard Whittington moved to end, and Oliver Gibson and Glenn Steele are inside, and Steele just made that play.
It's going to be a 3rd and long for this Bear offense.
And the hero of the first half for the Bears is Anthony Thomas, and he's out at wide receiver all the way to the right. There's Anthony Thomas.
They've got to get it to the Bengal 44. They go the other way. David Terrell can't grab it. Incomplete. It's doing a good job of putting this down inside the 1.
Great tightrope back with those feet, staying inside this boundary, that end zone line, and putting it down before he went in there. Otherwise, it would have been a touchback.
The Bengals start 99 yards away from home. Kitna going up top. Pass incomplete. It was intended for Darnay Scott. R.W. McCourt's on the coverage, but you could see Scott kind of stepped out of bounds before, so the completion wouldn't have mattered.
Well, you saw the side judge throw his hat on the ground, Kurt, which meant that Darnay stepped out of bounds. I like the aggressiveness of the Bengals, though. You know, they backed up in their own end zone, come out, and, you know, take a shot to their fastest wide receiver.
The big play has been missing today for the Bengals. Play action. Lorenzo Neal out of the backfield. Forced out about the 8-yard line. A pickup of 7. Brian Urlacher pushed him out.
You know, the Bengals are backed up here to the 1-yard line because of the punt by Brad Maynard, who was a great addition in the offseason. In fact, you know, Brent Bartholomew was their punter a year ago, and he wasn't very good. And one of the reasons why they went after Maynard is he was the punter last year for the Giants. Used to punting in the swirling winds of the Meadowlands. Punted 11 times in that Super Bowl a year ago, but he's professional, and I think he's really adding something field position-wise to this football team.
They need the 11-yard line for the first. The pitch to Dillon. Brian Urlacher snips it out and gets him down. But he got enough for the first down, fighting his way out to the 12-yard line.
What a burst by Urlacher to try and slow him down. And here it comes on the run. Oof. You know, Dillon is a heck of a back, and he breaks a lot of tackles, so there's no crime in that, but Urlacher closed that distance fast.
First rushing first down of the game for Cincinnati. Peter Warrick Gain of 9. We gain James Brown's knowledge for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, a deep bag of trips for the Rams. Warner flank left, direct snap to Trun Candidate on 3rd and 6. He takes it in for the score, and guess what? The Rams execute an onside kick and recover it, and they're up 31-7. Hey, fellas, what are they trying to do? Improve their BCS rankings? Back to Kurt and Brian.
JB taking a shot at the polls, huh? The way it's going, 31-7 right now at the Meadowlands. Corey Dillon, another first down for the Bengals. Out to the 31-yard line. Tony Parrish with the stop.
And this is what the Bengals are used to doing here. Mixing in short passes, running Corey Dillon. And the blocking up front now is looking a little more crisp. This time, Mike Goff gets out on the outside, gets a good lead block on Warwick Holdman. Lorenzo Neal, who was a good addition this offseason, a good lead block. And Dillon cuts right off of him.
9 yards on that run. That's more than he had the entire first half. Play action. Pass almost intercepted. There's R.W. McQuarters again. Boy, every time there's been a big play for Chicago on defense, he's been there today.
He's playing with a lot of confidence, Kurt. There wasn't a whole lot of separation. And for John Kitna, who doesn't have the strongest arm, this ball floats out there. It was almost the second pick for McQuarters. Looked like McQuarters was running that route better than Darnay Scott.
Of course, he had the big interception that led to the touchdown in the second quarter. And that's the difference in this ball game right now. 10-0 Cincinnati trailing.
Got a reverse to Warwick.
And they run it, and Warwick is caught in the backfield but escapes. Not for long. Warwick Holdman was the first guy to get him. Holdman couldn't hold him, but Tony Parrish got there and wrapped it up.
You know, Peter Warwick ran 16 reverses last year. He ran the ball more than any other receiver in football. Just trying to get him a touch. Here he's going to come on the outside, but Warwick Holdman, it's one thing to blitz, Kirk. It's another thing to blitz with control and with vision. He came shooting through the gap, and he read the play on the run. Very good awareness by Holdman.
All these Bengal linebackers. They need the 42 for the first. Ball up, incomplete. Intended for Darnay Scott. Walt Harris was there to tip it away.
Boy, the big unit got off the snide, didn't he, the other day with the win in the postseason?
Anthony Thomas on first down for the Bears. Pickup of 2 yards on the play. Thomas, 9 carries, 110 yards in the first half.
Unbelievable first half. I mean, he has a burst. He's got vision. This is what he did in the first half. A stop and start. Looks like an NFL back. You know, punishing inside Kurt and then the speed to get outside.
They call him the A-Train. He's really rolling today. Jim Miller. Pass caught by Marty Booker. Pickup of 5 yards. Mark Roman on the tackle.
Hey, Kurt, you know who we haven't talked about at all today? Or any of these Cincinnati linebackers?
No, and this is another good young group, you thought.
Yeah. Simmons, Takeo Spikes, Foley. I mean, these guys are all drafted. I mean, very similar to the Bear linebackers. But today, the offensive line of the Bears are controlling the down man, and they're getting into the face of these linebackers. And they're not able to run free the way the Bear linebackers are.
Bears go with 3 receivers on 3rd and 3. Pass caught, and a first down. David Terrell, a pickup of 4 yards.
Kurt, with the injury to Marcus Robinson in the first half, it's time for a young guy. First-round pick, 8th pick player taking the draft. Here he is in motion, going to come in and just run a little arrow route. Knows where the marker is for the first down. In traffic, good catch, moves the chains. Time for David Terrell to get an opportunity to step up.
Terrell's 4th catch of the day. Out to the 44-yard line. Play action. Miller has time over the middle. Caught by David Terrell. Deep in the Bengal territory, down at the 15. Legarius Jennings with the stop, but 40 yards to Terrell.
Biggest play for Terrell all year, and here it is. I mean, you're getting confidence in the kid in the short passing routes, and then they run the play action. Good stick move to go to the post. Chris Carter here going for the interception, thought he had it. Miller lays it right on the money. Beautiful pass by Miller. And then you get to see the size of Terrell, able to carry defenders on his back.
Those draft picks out of Michigan looking awfully good all of a sudden. Anthony Thomas. Gain of 2. Oliver Gibson on the tackle.
It's the 1-2 punch, Kurt. Number 1 in David Terrell and number 2 in Anthony Thomas, giving them, a 1-2 punch there in offense, back-to-back plays.
Back-to-back draft picks, both coming out of the University of Michigan, putting up big numbers in their college careers and getting an opportunity. Neither one started out as the guy here, and in some situations that helps young guys.
And they both missed a lot of time in training camps, which set them back, which was going to take a month to kind of get them going.
Miller. That's Marty Booker fighting his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago Bears. 13 yards. Jim Miller to Marty Booker.
Jim Miller, another strike. Right on the money and great protection. Again, Miller only sacked 1 time so far this year. Great protection. Look at Marty Booker here. Going to work the middle of the field. Just looking for running a little interference, and the Bengals, who run so much man-to-man, gets picked, and Fred Baxter came back to lay a block. Really up front, the protection here is outstanding. Cincinnati rushes 4. The Bears are slide protecting right. One-on-one, everybody's locked up. Miller all kinds of time. The Bears have big receivers. We've been talking about it all day, to be able to go through traffic and punish people. And then Fred Baxter, when things are going right, you get away with some clips. Baxter trying to help out, but that one in the back probably should have called that play back.
Nobody saw it, so it's a touchdown. From the 22, Kitna completes it. That's Ron Dugans.
It's his first catch in the NFL. Dugans over the middle, filling in a little bit for Chad Johnson, who broke his collarbone last week.
Dugans trying to replace Johnson, who had been a big key on 3rd downs already in his rookie season for the Bengals. 13-yard pickup out to the 35. Bears showing blitz. Corey Dillon. Stop for a gain of 2 yards. Really not able to get much against this Bear defense. Tony Parrish with the stop there.
Kurt, they came in today giving up only 43 points. Okay, 1 touchdown the last 12 quarters, and that was a 99-yard march last week. Arizona took it the length of the field. It took them over 6 minutes to score, and they were trying to just preserve a victory. But these guys are shutting people down right now, and I think the addition of these 2 guys in the middle, Ted Washington and Keith Traylor, was a great start.
Kitna completes it to Peter Warwick out near the 1st down marker. Roosevelt Colvin with the stop.
Yeah, see that man Colvin, who just sucked up Peter Warwick and made the tackle? We talked to him yesterday, and he was a defensive end at Purdue a couple of years ago, and he liked to rush the quarterback. He likes sacks. He said he likes sacks a lot more than tackles, but I don't think he might mind making those tackles in the middle of the field.
Well, one thing you notice is all these guys, the linebackers, are all over the field for Chicago.
And they're physical, Kurt.
1st down at the 45. Kitna under pressure. That ball thrown up there and caught. Nice grab by Ron Dugans.
See, telling you, if you catch the ball now, you're going to pay the price.
Yeah, Mike Brown made him pay after the 18-yard gain.
Kitna got a little time, bought a little time outside the pocket. See, those safeties play deep so they can get a running start to lay people out. And for as long as I've been following the Bears, whether it was Doug Plank or Gary Fensick or Dave Duerson, they've always had safeties that love to roam the middle of the field and come to put a hit on you.
1st down at the 37. Corey Dillon caught in the backfield but spins free. Not anymore. R.W. McQuarters with another big play. And a penalty marker down as well.
They are attacking the line of scrimmage right now. Now it helps, when you're up 17-0 and you can pin your ears back and take more chances.
Now it's going to be holding on the Bengals.
Holding 80 offense. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Peter Warwick called for the penalty, but the Bears decline it.
These guys are so aggressive right now from the secondary coming up. Right here is Peter Warwick. I don't know. The guys look like they were just kind of hanging out over there.
The Bears decline it because they stopped him for a 7-yard loss on the play. Kittner working from the shotgun. Incomplete. Let's send it out to Los Angeles and James Brown for another game break.
Hey, fellas, as you well know, the Falcons have struggled in the fourth quarter, losing 2 fourth-quarter leads, trying to right the ship. Chandler, great play action, hooking up with Sean Jefferson, 39 yards. Superdome leave up a little too much. Not sure he really wanted to be there. Back to Kurt and Ryan.
Well, JB, we talk so much about rivalries in Atlanta and New Orleans, a rivalry that goes way back. It's always tough to beat the rivals.
Yeah, you see each other twice a year. You play in that plastic dome.
Atlanta brings a lot of fans to New Orleans. New Orleans takes a lot to Atlanta when they play.
Throw these guys up to the line of scrimmage, Kurt. Giving a lot of heavy blitz look.
They've got to get to 27 for the first down. Ron Dugans with running room gets there. First down, Bengals.
Kurt, Ron Dugans is getting an opportunity to step up right now because of the injury last week to Chad Johnson, who's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. And this is what's beautiful about this league. Young guys getting an opportunity when somebody does get hurt. Dugans a number of big catches here in the second half.
18 yards on the pass. Kittner. Going up top. Incomplete pass intended for Darnay Scott.
Ouch.
Tony Parrish laid him out once he went up.
Ouch. So the last hit by Tony Parrish, a good running start on Darnay Scott. And just laid him out, put the shoulder right in, totally legal, legged with the shoulder, not the helmet. One of those shots where the rib digs right into the lung, knocks the wind right out of it.
First play of the fourth quarter. Kittner to Peter Warwick. Warwick picks up 5 yards.
Well, we're going to see this Bengal offense here in the fourth quarter where basically they're going to have to throw the football to get back into it. Abandon the running game, and I think one of the things the Bengals do well is if they spread you out, they can hurt you. They've got talent. We've seen Dugans and Warwick and Darnay Scott. You got to be able to take the shots from the secondary now and not be fearful of going over the middle. And that's the intimidation factor that these safeties bring.
They need the 16-yard line for the first. Bears showing blitz. Kittner rolling out and getting rid of it, and it's broken up. Walt Harris. Pass intended for T.J. Husmanzada, but Walt Harris not allowing the ball to get there. His 6th miss in 12 tries this season. Anthony Thomas. And I tell you, the Bears trying to end a couple of streaks. They haven't been 4-1 to start a season since 1991. They haven't won 4 games in a row since 1995. But if they hold on today, they will do both, going to 4-1 with their 4th consecutive victory.
And all the Bears talked about was getting their 4th win, because after this today, they go home for 3 home games in a row. And that's how they're thinking. They're thinking one at a time, which is the way you want to. It's not a cliche. It's the way you have to think in this league. But you have to start thinking that the Bears are a legitimate team for the postseason this year for a lot of different reasons. That defense is keeping them in every game. And that kid, Anthony Thomas, probably his only negative run of the day, is going to give this team a huge lift.
Well, that's a big play by the Bengal defense. Takeo Spikes catching Thomas for a loss.
See, like last week, Kirk, they had complete control of the football game against Arizona, and they sat on it in the second half. Now, they said they didn't. They had a lot of penalties, and they had some negative yardage plays, but they never attacked down the field. And I think that's the one area of this team that they can improve upon. Jim Miller likes to throw the deep ball. He wants to challenge defensive backs, and that's where the next step is for this offense.
They need the 39, David Terrell. He got there. First down, Bears, a pickup of 10.
And how about the coming out party for David Terrell today? They've been talking about him. They said that he's been working in practice, and now you can start to see why they made this kid such a high draft pick and picked him in front of Corinne Robinson, who went to Seattle.
Terrell, the 8th player taken in the draft this spring. Number 1 for the Bears. He came in here kind of as the 4th receiver, then slowly working his way up to the 3rd, and with the injury to Marcus Robinson today, getting plenty of opportunity and taking advantage of it. First down from the 40. David Terrell again. Give him 7 more yards. Mark Roman with his tackle. Well, this has been a good day for you if you're a fan of the maize and blue.
who had a bye this week in college football.
Maybe that's why their guys are playing so well.
One of the good fight songs in college football.
There you see Terrell, 90 yards receiving today. #1 pick for the Bears, and the #2 pick for the Bears out of Michigan, 116 yards on the ground.
Well, over 200 yards of offense for the #1 and #2 pick.
Well, the #2 pick going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage by Mario Mounds.
Kurt, you know, they go home and they play San Francisco next week and then Cleveland, and then they have a showdown with Green Bay at home. You know what that is like. I mean, the Bears are getting more confident. That kid is stepping up. Anthony Thomas is stepping up. You know that the Central Division last year had 4 teams that won 9 or more games. Only division of football that did it.
And the Packers, of course, playing the second game of our doubleheader today against the Minnesota Vikings.
And the Bears were the one team that didn't finish over 500. You've seen in this league how you can turn things around.
3rd and 3 under pressure, gets rid of it, and it's caught. Des White with the grab. Boy, Brian Simmons was bringing the heat, but Jim Miller stayed in there and completed the pass.
Well, we haven't talked a lot about Jim Miller today, Kurt. He got the opportunity to come in and play in the second half of the Minnesota game, the second game of the season, because of a rib injury to Shane Matthews. And this is his football team now. I mean, the one thing that Jim hasn't been able to do is stay healthy, and that's why last year, he had the injury, and he had the injury in training camp, the hamstring. But right now, he is executing this offense. And they said they had to win outside the numbers today, and it completed those balls outside the numbers.
On 1st down, Anthony Thomas. The kid's not afraid of contact either, is he?
No.
Fights his way to the 42, a gain of 6. Mark Roman with the stop.
But what Anthony Thomas does, Kurt, is he takes the ball into the line of scrimmage before he bounces it out. And watch him here. He's going to take this ball all the way into the line. And now he makes his cut. After the linebackers and defensive backs come in there to stop him, then he has the ability and the speed to bounce it outside. See, he's running the play. He takes it all the way in, and now he bounces it. Too many young players in this league want to bounce things right away, and it's too easy to see.
They run the play action. That's Marty Booker. Well, Jim Miller spreading the ball around to everyone. Booker with the nice reception and a 20-yard pickup.
The getting is good. This is when offense is fun. And this is when it's spread around and everybody's getting involved and everybody gets their hands on it. It's fun. Marty Booker in the slot, just working against Bo Jennings, who's on about 3 days of practice. Actually, that was Mark Roman that time. Switching some things up in the slot, trying to slow the big guys down.
Another 1st down for the Bears. Anthony Thomas
got the corner.
Gets around there and into the open field, into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago Bears.
What a great job on the left side of that offensive line. Blake Brockemeyer over there and Rex Tucker really doing a good job of sealing the corner. Watch this left side. Watch Fred Baxter here back in uniform. Rex Tucker on the pull. Nice hit on Juwan Armour. And Anthony Thomas goes in untouched.
I don't think the Bears mind riding the A train, do they?
Nah, get on that train.
And the Bengals fans head for the exits.
We're going to end up in first place later today.
Kitna over the air, tipped. Brian Urlacher. You talk about showing some hops. He got up there.
Well, not only did he get up there, Kurt, but he got back there first. I mean, he's lined up 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and got 20 yards down the field on his drop. I mean, that's the speed of Urlacher. And then he's an athlete. The other linebacker, Rosie Colvin, says that he can just Shaq Fu him in the basketball court. Take him right to the hole and dunk on him, but I'm having a hard time believing anybody can dunk over that vertical blue.
As a football player, he is special. Kitna gets it off, incomplete.
Hey, Kurt, the Bengals tried to run a crossing route that time, but we've been talking about these linebackers all day. And that looked like just an incomplete pass, but that man, Warwick Holdman, took this play away. Watch him hunt up the crossing route here. He jumps right on top of him and takes the play away. The crossing route was by TJ
Houshmandzadeh.
That's why I didn't just roll it out of my mouth.
Houshmandzadeh.
I had to work with it.
Yeah, he's getting his first action. Kitna out of the shotgun, and here come the Bears. That's complete. Marco Battaglia. That's good enough for a first down out near the midfield stripe. Finally forced out of bounds by Tony Parrish. 17 on the play.
But I played against those 85 Bears, you know, when they were just dominant in this league. And the Baltimore Ravens were compared to them last year. And I thought the one area that they were better at than these Bears was the pass rush. You know, they had Richard Dent there and McMichael and
That
Hampton.
the 85 Bears are better than this team?
Well, I think they're better up front there, but I think these linebackers, you know, I mean, you got to start looking at Singletary and Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall, and these guys look like they have that type of ability.
Corey Dillon on the run, pick up a 4.
I'm not saying that these guys are better than those guys now because they brought home the bacon. They've got the hardware. They went through that league 15-1. Curtin dominated the entire league that year and for a couple of years.
Kitna with a quick pass. Peter Warren gets another Bengal first down out to the 40-yard line. Tony Parrish stops him after he picks up 8.
But the guy that really went to work this offseason was Mark Hatley, who's now up in Green Bay, helping that franchise. But when he brought in Ted Washington and Keith Traylor to help protect Urlacher and give him a little bit more protection up front so he can use his speed to make tackles, that was a good blueprint. You know, and then the two ends right here, we got Brian Robinson and Philip Daniels down here.
That ball thrown behind Warwick, incomplete.
You know, those ends are good at holding the point against the run. And I think they're only going to get better here as the season goes on. I mean, they won every challenge. This was a good challenge today. This is a good run-blocking offensive line of Cincinnati, and they never got started.
Well, one thing you notice is you see this Bears defense start to pick up something of a swagger of late.
Well, they've been talking like that. And you know what it is, Kurt? They're tired of losing. They're tired of being the doormat in the Central, getting their butts kicked every week, and now they know that they can do something about it.
Yeah, Brian Robinson, Tony Parrish both talked about how they've been around here so many years and losing twice as many games as they've won. Another incompletion by Kitna. Well, John Kitna really struggling today, only 17 of 38.
Well, Kurt, one of the reasons why he struggled is because of what they're doing on defense. Watch Mike Brown this time come. I mean, he's going to get flipped now. But the effort to go after a quarterback, I give him about a 9.2. Lands on his feet, it's a perfect 10, you know.
Well, he gets more for getting back up.
Yeah, bounced up like he's made of rubber.
Does the song say, I get knocked down, but I get up again? Low snap on third down. Right over the middle, Peter Warren, first down and more. Turf Monster got him. He tripped up at the 14-yard line. Can't believe it.
Yeah, look, he's laughing.
27 on
Maybe
the play.
They're walking everybody into the line of scrimmage.
Bengals with a first down at the 14. Kitna under pressure. Throws it to the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Danny Farmer, the nearest Bengal receiver. We talked about the last shutout by the Bears defense. You have to go all the way back to 1993 when they beat the Atlanta Falcons 6-0.
And there's nobody on this Bear defense that's been around from that era. This thing has been turned over. That man leads this team in tackles. He's had a good day today.
Out of the shotgun, Kitna goes up top. Warwick back in the game. Steps out of bounds. Pickup of 6. Walt Harris forced it.
They're almost inseparable coming here together from Big Blue.
Peter Warwick on the end around. Down to the 3-yard line. Going to be right there at the first down marker. I don't think it matters. Bengals going for it in this situation anyway.
No, what matters to the Bears right now is that big goose egg on Cincinnati's scoreboard. You know, that bagel up there. That's what matters to them. This might be the most important down in the game for the Bears, because that's how you have to start thinking as a championship defense, Kurt. Shutting teams out and sticking it to them and making them feel like, you know what, we couldn't do anything against us today. And that's how you start to build a legend and how that swagger develops.
I meant the Bengals in 4-down territory. They're going for it on all 4 downs no matter what. They get the first down at the 2. Kitna. All kinds of time. Can't find a receiver.
He had a couple of them in there. It looked like they were open.
Well, he tried to throw it to Corey Dillon, but zipped it right past him.
Corey Dillon sitting at the bottom of the screen.
There's that 54 right there in the way, though.
Showing up. I tell you, if I'm a Bear fan, Kurt, I will plunk down whatever it is, $50 a game to go watch this defense play football, and I'll keep an eye on 54 every play because he's going to take you to the ball every play.
Second and goal. Over the middle again, incomplete again. Tony McGee in the back of the end zone. Mike Brown right there with him.
Well, those safeties are headhunting. There's the defensive coordinator, Greg Blasch.
Well, he talked about how this team really started to come together defensively last season, about midway through the year, their second game against Minnesota. And since that time, they've only given up 21 points in a ball game once.
Well, his concern was with all these young players, like a Mike Brown in his second year, like Coleman and Urlacher, could they handle success? And they've got some success right now.
Of course, Minnesota in the second game of our doubleheader against Green Bay coming up right after this one. Kitna to the end zone. Peter Warwick incomplete. Walt Harris with a nice coverage.
One more play here.
Yeah, they're going to go for it on fourth down, try and get in the end zone.
And that man, Walt Harris, who really they were trying to run out of town here.
Well, the Bengals tried to get him here. They offered him a multi-year deal in the offseason, but Harris decided to stay.
Walt Harris going to take the widest receiver on the field. That's his territory in the zone. Didn't throw a bad ball to Warwick. Giving up the fewest points in the NFL coming into today. Haven't done anything to hurt it so far.
On fourth down. Broken up. Jerry Azuma. And the Bears defense rises tall, keeping Cincinnati out of the end.
Anything. Span between Greg.
Bears take over on downs. First down from the 2-yard line. There's Anthony Thomas. Following the block of Damon Shelton out to the 19-yard line. 17 on the run. Boy, and that gives them 160 yards for the day, and this is going to be a big win for the Bears, and they're going to start doing some scoreboard watching after we're done, because game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader features the Packers, who came into this game leading the NFC Central against the Minnesota Vikings up at the Metrodome, where the Packers have had trouble the last couple of years.
Well, they've lost 7 of the last 9 going there with Brett Favre at quarterback. The Vikings, who are struggling now, Green Bay is just one of those teams that brings out the best in the Vikings.
Anthony Thomas through a hole. Pickup of 6. Brian Simmons with the tackle.
Kurt, there is just a number of good young running backs in this league. You look at LaDainian Tomlinson, out in San Diego right now, had more carries than any back in football coming into this weekend. Correll Buckhalter, out there in Philadelphia. We'll see him tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. A lot of good young backs coming into this league.
Well, and one thing that Anthony Thomas told us during meetings yesterday was all those young guys watch each other.
Yeah.
They make sure they pay attention. They all kind of got to know each other at the rookie symposiums and places like that. So,
well, the 3 backs chosen in front of Anthony Thomas were Tomlinson, Michael Bennett, who's certainly in Minnesota, and then Deuce McAllister in New Orleans.
Anthony Thomas takes the handoff, gets the first down out across the 30. I don't know how Jim Miller got that one handed away. Oliver Gibson was pushing right over the center. Olin Kreutz right into him, but they still got it completed.
You see a nice job on the outside. Olin Kreutz just taking down Oliver Gibson inside. This is what the Bears have been trying to develop here, Kirk, for some time now. Just a solid running game. And see, it's been like forever since you could count on one week in, week out. And I don't think there's any question right now that Anthony Thomas gives them that type of body that they've been searching for years.
His 20th carry of the game.
Come on, ref,
gets out to the 34-yard line. That's 175 yards rushing for the rookie out of Michigan. And boy, James Allen had held on to that starting job for the first 5 weeks of the season. I think he may have lost it by now.
Big Cat, he's got a smile on his face because he's the The only player there in that offense was in a playoff game.
Yeah, he was there in '95, the last time they made it. Had a winning season, 1995.
Yeah, Big Cat, he was a free agent out of Cheney State. He was a defensive lineman for a couple of years. They moved him over to the offensive side of the football. He's been a fixture at right tackle. He takes this whole offensive line and the quarterbacks out for dinner on Thursday night.
Boy, they're just running the workhorse, Thomas. And he's responding. Another first down. Give him 9 yards on the run.
And nothing would make their offensive coordinator, John Shoup, happier than if they can just run out this clock and melt this clock and, hold on to this football.
Bears, people trekking from the Chicago area here to Cincinnati for this game. Anthony Thomas, one of the heroes, 22 carries, 188 yards rushing. That's the 8th biggest day in the history of Chicago Bear running backs.
And the defense got a lift today from the 2 number 1 and number 2 draft picks of the Bears. Anthony Thomas and David Terrell really filled in nicely in their first 4-1 start since '91 in a decade now.